This is exactly why your openings and closings carry so much strategic weight. But even before opening statements, you're shaping first impressions. Welcome to the Foster Your Voice podcast with me, Christy Foster. After a 30-year career in music and theater, I never imagined I'd be coaching trial attorneys. But once I entered your world, I quickly realized how critical and underutilized voice is in the courtroom. The truth is, you don't win trials with brute strength. You win with your voice. I'll give you tools to unlock your voice so you can communicate not just with purpose, but on purpose. If you want quick action tips to help you stay calm and in control, keep jurors engaged, and inspire your listeners to action, all through the power of your voice, you're in the right place. I'm Christy Foster, and I'm here to help you foster your voice. Hello, Foster fam. Welcome back. Now, to kick us off, we're continuing our little mini series on why the Tour de France, the best bike race in the whole entire world, why and how it is like trial. Can you tell I'm a big cycling fan? And I'm forcing it on you because I have a podcast and I can do that. Now, last week we talked about how both the tour and trial, or the whole lawsuit process really, are a test of attrition. It's not the person who wins the first stage or the first thing that wins everything. It's the person who finishes strong, makes it through all the tedium, and is still standing with the best time or best overall presentation at the end. Then we talked about how cycling, just like trial, is a team sport, even though there's an individual leader. The whole team working together helps the leader win, get the verdict. But the leader would not be able to do it without their team or their whole staff, which nicely ties into the third fact that everyone has a critical role to play. Now, in a cycling team, there are sprinters, climbers, time trialists, and overall workhorses called domestiques that all have very specific strengths that they can deploy at key moments. By doing their job at their highest level, it might actually guarantee that they never personally win a race. For instance, a lead-out rider might never win a stage for themselves, but without them, the sprinter for the team probably doesn't win either. In trial prep, each team member contributes at specific stages, whether it's intake, discovery, trial prep, voir dire, closing. Skill sets are leveraged for the good of the whole. And like a skilled legal assistant catching a filing error can be as crucial as the attorney who does the cross-exam. Cycling and litigation are also more about strategy than about brute strength. In cycling, knowing when not to attack is often way more powerful than launching the breakaway. Conserving energy, drafting, choosing the right moment to make an effective move all matter. And just like attorneys, knowing when to settle, when to pause, or how to control the tempo in front of a jury, that can win more than displays of aggression. A calm, credible, and authoritative demeanor may land more impact than dramatic flair ever could. So, let me know if you're watching the tour this year. I obviously need people to talk about it with. I'll have a few more similarities to cover as we continue through the grand tour season, but let's just get into our topic for today: primacy and recency effect. You know what I hate? Being misunderstood. It's actually one of my biggest fears, if I'm honest, right up there with birds. Yes, I'm afraid of birds. Leave me alone about it already. Being misunderstood is just the worst, though. Trying to communicate something and seeing that it's just not landing the way you intend. A too harsh of tone with your kid or spouse that ended up setting them off. A thinking face that got interpreted as annoyance or irritation and ended up shutting down the conversation and leaving you baffled. It's so frustrating in our personal lives, but in the courtroom, your mismatched communication profile could break your case and lose you a deserving verdict. So, I've created a free guide to get you thinking about the emotional profiles you create. It's a printable guide to help you 10x your communication impact by mastering 6 emotional profiles for clear and authentic connection. I break down the 6 core emotions: happy, sad, love, pride, anger, and fear by giving you face, body, and breathing cues. Plus, I show you exactly which point on a 1 to 10 scale you should be with your pitch, pace, melody, volume, and tone in order to authentically capture the center of that core emotion. The link to get your free guide is in the show notes or by simply going to my website, fostervoicestudio.com. Don't wait to clear up your part of miscommunication and misunderstandings. Get your free download today. Today we're talking about something that's just as true for the courtroom as it is on stage. First impressions and last impressions, or to use the neuroscience term for it, the primacy and recency effect. Now, I first learned this not in law school, because I'm not a lawyer, but on stage. As a performer, whether in vocal recitals or theater productions, I learned early that how you enter the room and how you leave it matter a lot. They matter a lot. When you walk into an audition, you're one of hundreds of faces that they're seeing that day. The director has maybe 10 seconds to take you in. They watch how you greet the accompanist, how you introduce yourself. We call that slating. And by the time you've said your name and what you're going to sing, the impression is made, even before you open your mouth to perform. It's what Malcolm Gladwell calls thin slicing in his book Blink. I don't know if you've read that, but it's the brain's remarkable ability to make fast, accurate judgments with limited information. And directors are highly practiced, if not trained at it. So am I. As a former director myself, I can honestly say there were auditions where I could have cast the show cold, just based on the way people entered the room. No singing required. Now, it might sound a little unfair, but the truth is that's how the brain is wired. First impressions are fast, sticky, and incredibly difficult to reverse. Trial attorneys, you know this intuitively. You've probably felt it during voir dire or seen it when co-counsel starts a little off and the jury tunes out before they've even reached the good stuff. It's all primacy and recency. The primacy effect means jurors remember the first thing they heard. That early information anchors their attention and builds their first impression of you, your case, and your credibility. And then there's recency, which tells us that the last thing jurors hear will stick with them as well. It leaves the lasting flavor, so to speak, in their mental palate as they head into deliberations. This is exactly why your openings and closings carry so much strategic weight. But even before opening statements, you're shaping first impressions. In jury selection, when you give jurors just a little bit of context, this case takes place around a construction site. You're already creating cognitive ease. You're giving them a mini roadmap. And in doing so, you're building trust. Those little moments of clarity early on They're micro impressions and they matter. You're starting to position yourself as the person who can guide them, who can equip them. They don't even know what the case is yet, but they're forming an impression about you. Then we get to opening. Start strong. Don't warm up on the jury's time. Treat it like a cold open. Step in, ready to lead. Begin with clarity and calm authority. Give them a rule, a clear, concise statement that frames the case. Jurors need structure. Teach them, equip them with the knowledge they need to understand the issues and participate fully. And don't assume they know what you know. Your job is to build their confidence by giving them the information they need to orient themselves to the case and to know what they can expect in the rest of trial. Then tell the story with energy, with animation, with human moments that anchor the facts. This combination of rule, roadmap, relatable storytelling is what makes an opening statement more than just information. It makes it memorable. Now, let's talk about the other bookend, your closing. Your final impression matters just as much, maybe even more than the first. This is the moment where jurors begin to form their collective story of the case. They're weighing everything you've taught them, and they're getting ready to enter a room without you in it to decide. So, what do they need from you? They need a clear, confident summary that brings it all together. They need a return to the core principle or rule that you gave them at the beginning. They need a call to action, a specific verdict that justice requires. And maybe most importantly, an emotional anchor, a final image or statement that gives the facts human meaning. I did a whole episode just a couple weeks ago about how to have a balance between logic and emotion. They need both. Facts alone don't cut it. Give them something emotional to hang on to. You won't be in the room during deliberations, but your voice can be. So here's what I want you to take from today. Your first impression isn't just a soft skill. It's a neurological anchor. And your last impression, it's the one that walks into deliberations without you. So whether it's jury selection, opening statement, or closing argument, plan those moments with intention. Bookend your case with clarity, with structure, with heart, because it's not just the facts that matter, it's how and when you deliver them. Now, if this episode gives you something to think about, would you share it with a colleague and maybe leave a quick review? I'll see you next time. And until then, keep fostering your voice. Thanks for pulling up a seat with me today and for being part of the Foster fam. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, go ahead and leave a review or a comment so I can give you a shout out on a future episode. During the week, you can find me on Instagram at Foster Voice Studio, where I'm dropping little nuggets of vocal technique and leadership wisdom. You can also join my mailing list by visiting fostervoicestudio.com or by clicking the link in the show notes. I'll send a weekly vocal tip every Tuesday directly to your inbox. Until then, keep fostering your voice.